These reports are terribly important because many people, serious people in journalism and public life, government officials, civil society activists, know something about these issues, care something about them, but they need an authoritative source of information about them that's recognized as such, and that is current, that's topical, that combines readability, if you will, with the most recent state of knowledge. And the report on the state of the apes, for someone like me, who's not an expert in primatology, I found it extraordinarily useful because it told me many things I didn't know, but I do know that if I were assigned as a reporter to do a story on this or to consult with conservation organizations anywhere in the world on this, that this is the first place that I would look to find out what I needed to know. What's unusual about this report is that it deals with the plight of the great apes around the world who are endangered, and there's only a few 100,000 of them. And these 100,000 apes shared between 97% and 98% of humans' DNA, and there's 7 billion of us, and we have not been treating them very well. People know that, but they don't know the details of it, exactly why they're endangered, where they live, what the forces are at play here. And the fact that extractive industries, the mining industry, the oil and gas industry, commercial timber industries, are directly threatening them is also generally not known. So I think if you're interested in any of these issues, you should be interested in this. I mean, these are literally our ancestors we're talking about. What's known about the great apes, or what people think they know about it, isn't necessarily accurate. In the sense that the perceived danger to the great apes is seen as first poaching, which is of course a serious problem, as it is with elephants. It's also habitat destruction, but again, that's typically seen as the poor villagers who are clear-cutting forests to have cooking fires or to build huts or what have you. The idea that international industry, that multinational corporations and their mining and oil and gas operations pose a threat to the habitat and hence to the species themselves is not widely known at all. The report on the state of the apes is an extremely detailed and persuasive indictment, I don't think that's too strong a word, of many of the multinational corporations who are engaged in these industries. I wouldn't think, and the report doesn't claim that they're villainous. I think in many cases it's just not understood that the destruction of these habitats where the great apes live can ultimately lead to the extinction, and extinction is forever, of these fantastically interesting animals with whom we share most of our DNA. So it's not a small matter. And I would say it would be terrific if the executives of the mining and oil and gas corporations and the timber cutting and importing industrial corporations were aware of the report, but I think perhaps even more important, their customers and their shareholders, and what they would see as their own community of stakeholders. Again, I don't think that any of these companies, presented with the facts, which this report does, and presented with alternative ways of going about their business, would not take the steps that can be taken to protect these endangered great apes. What this report reminds us is that extinction is forever, and it's not unthinkable that some of these great ape species might actually disappear from the planet, not tomorrow, but in 100 or 200 years from now, if these practices that threaten their habitats are not addressed now.